So the verdict is in on Biohome Ultimate. Unfortunately, it may not be what some of you want to hear. I bought a brand new FX6 about 5 months ago and stuffed it to the gills with Biohome Ultimate. No pun intended. How much Biohome, you might want to ask? Well, I bought about 4 pounds and I had about a handful or 2 left over at the end. So let's say 3.5 pounds, give or take. If you want to watch that video, I'll put a card up to it right here. Now, I won't go into detail about what Biohome Ultimate is supposed to do and how it's supposed to do it. I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video, you already know about Biohome and you just want to know if it works as advertised. But I'll touch on it real quick and to the point. Biohome Ultimate is biomedia that is said to be able to produce anaerobic bacteria to complete the nitrification cycle by removing nitrates from your water. If you need more information on the cycle, I'll put a link to the video right here. By the way, guys, if you're new here, let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Kevin from KaveMan and I make helpful videos on all topics of the aquarium hobby. So if you have an aquarium or you're considering getting an aquarium, then consider subscribing too, and you won't miss any new content. So during these 5 months, my output flow from the FX6 has been dramatically reduced due to all the Biohome that's inside of it. This is the flow with the aquastop valves fully open. But this is actually what you want when trying to grow anaerobic bacteria. Anaerobic bacteria need very low flow with very low oxygen levels in the water to grow. So I essentially gave up the power that my FX6 has to turn my tank over 6 or 7 times and reduced it down to about 2 or 3. I can't really gauge how many times my tank is turning over, but I know it's significantly less than what the FX6 is capable of doing. Which is why I also run my 407 canister filter at the same time, just to make sure that I have adequate filtration while I'm testing the Biohome. Okay, so I've dragged it on long enough. Unfortunately, guys, the Biohome Ultimate did not work for me. It did not reduce any nitrates in my tank whatsoever. But before you guys jump down my throat in the comment section, I want to let you know that these are the results for me and for my tank and for my setup. Some people may have done things differently, set up their canisters differently. That may be the case, but I'm here to tell you what my results are based on how I tested my Biohome. And trust me, I love the Pond Guru just as much as the next fish keeper. He has awesome videos that'll definitely help you out. They've helped me out a lot. So if you don't know about the Pond Guru, make sure you go check him out. But unfortunately, his Biohome Ultimate didn't work for me. For 5 months, I did not add any new fish. I did not change the quantity or the frequency of their feedings, so the bio load remained the same. I do 80% water changes weekly, along with vacuuming the substrate bi-weekly. I use the same amount of prime, cichlid lake salt, and Malawi buffer in every water change. I also test my water every week before and after the water change, and my results were the same every week. Before a water change, my nitrates were at about 80 parts per million, and after a water change, they were about 40 parts per million. Now I say about because I'm using the API Master Test Kit, which give you the results in colors. And when you're using colors, you can't be accurate to the decimal point, so the best you can say is about. Also, yes, 80 parts per million is pretty high, but since I'm starting out with my tap water at 20 parts per million, it's nearly impossible to keep the tank under 40. But I keep African Cichlids, they're very hardy fish, and they've all pretty much adjusted well to those levels. Now I'm going to crack open my FX6 and show you guys exactly in real time just how packed full of Biohome it is. So just a quick tip for some of you guys that may be new to the FX6. When you remove your canister, you want to first turn off your inlet valve and then turn off your output valve. Once you do that, you can go ahead and unplug the FX6 and then remove each hose. bottom tray had my bag of Purigen, which is totally wasted, and a bag of crushed coral, which I'm gonna replace. This is about 3.5 pounds of Biohome Ultimate in an FX6 on a overstocked African Cichlid 75-gallon tank. So guys, since the Biohome didn't work out for me, with the magic of editing, I can now show you a quick cleaning that I did on the filter and what I replaced the Biohome with, just so that I can increase my flow rate back to what the FX6 is capable of, so that I can turn my tank over more times per hour. So here's the current setup, guys. This is my top tray, here's my middle tray, this is my bottom tray. In the top tray, I went all sponge. So I got the same sponges on the outside. This inside tray has the black egg-shaped sponge that the FX6 comes with. Inside, another black egg-shaped sponge. And underneath that, I also threw in a little bit of polyfill. Polyfill is the last mechanical filtration before water enters the biomedia. So top tray's got polyfill in the bottom of it, then a fine pad, and a fine pad. Top tray is full mechanical. Medium tray, I swapped out the Biohome Ultimate for these fluval ceramic rings, which are much more coarse. Water can pass through them easier, which will allow me to have better flow rate from the FX6. Underneath this basket, I kept the original Biohome only because I didn't want to do a drastic change to the biomedia. I wanted to leave some of it intact as to not change too much at the same time. Even though these bio rings, some of you may have noticed they were in my tank previously, so these are seated as well. Finally, the bottom tray, I got some more seated fluval ceramic rings that were inside my tank, and underneath that I've got my chemical media, which is a bag of ChemiPure Blue along with a bag of Purigen, as the last thing that the water hits on its way out and back into the tank. That's the new setup, guys. So Biohome Ultimate is very expensive media, and you're gonna need a lot of it if you're trying to get that full cycle. As you can see, I hardly had any more room to put any more Biohome into my FX6. Unfortunately for me, the Biohome didn't work. I was unable to reduce my nitrates, and I did not get the full cycle. So that's why I went with the much cheaper fluval ceramic rings. Not only are they cheaper, but they're definitely gonna get the job done just as well. Also, because they're such coarse media, they're gonna allow the flow rate to increase to what the FX6 is actually capable of, which will help me turn my tank over more times than what it was doing with the Biohome. If you guys would like to see exactly how I clean my FX6, then make sure you watch this video right here on how to clean your FX6. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you guys, I got a brand new free ebook on getting crystal clear aquarium water. If you're having trouble getting your water this clear, make sure you download that free ebook and it'll be sure to help you out. Link in the description. See you on the next one.